Here in the United States, despite the dangers of having a good tan, is still considered to be a status symbol and a sign of beauty and health. But unfortunately, too much exposure to the sun's harmful rays can lead to premature aging and the risk of skin cancer. But the good news is that if you find skin cancer early enough, then it's certainly treatable. And detection is extremely important. And joining us now here on CT Style is Dr. Frank Santoro from MidState Medical Center. Welcome here to CT Style.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
So let's get sort of the public thought and idea right out of the way. People think it's sexy and healthy to be tan, but it's really dangerous.
Yeah, there's really a paradigm shift with tanning. Any tan to the skin is considered damage. Damage can lead to skin cancer and premature aging. So we're trying to shift away from tanning, especially indoor tanning, which has been shown to be linked with melanoma and other types of skin cancer, basal cell squamous cell carcinomas, as well as outdoor tanning too can be linked to those.
Especially now with summertime right around the corner, everybody's going to be going to the beach, and we're going to be talking about different types of sunscreen here shortly. But how about vitamin D? That's obviously very important for your body to get a lot of vitamin D. And so you're saying to try to stay out of the sun. So how do you keep your body, upbeat and healthy?
So after long winters like this, where there's barely any sunlight, everybody wants to go out into the sun. Going out into the sun does feel good. UV exposure, there can be some addiction to it, as we can see with tanning beds, as we know often. Vitamin D levels are produced in our body from ultraviolet light exposure. We do recommend, though, if you do become vitamin D deficient, that the best way to supplement is through a pill, not necessarily through going out in the sun.
Okay. How about for sun poisoning? I had that experience once. It was one of the most debilitating experiences of my life. It didn't feel too good. So what do you recommend in that situation? If somebody's been out in the sun too long, what should they be doing?
So it's definitely a supportive care, meaning that you have to rest that day if that does happen to you. Taking either Tylenol or something such as a non-steroidal, something like ibuprofen to help out further. Aloe vera, warm compresses can help, but the key is not to get to that point.
Okay, and sleep a lot. I'm sure that'll help too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about A versus B rays. What's the difference there?
So there's different types of ultraviolet rays. There's ultraviolet A, ultraviolet B. Both of them can cause skin cancer. Ultraviolet A goes deeper into the skin. Ultraviolet B also causes skin cancer too. There are different types of sunscreen ingredients that help out UV or ultraviolet A versus ultraviolet B.
Okay, let's talk about some of the sunscreens that you brought with you and tell us the difference between how they're affecting A versus B.
So a lot of people just ask about what to choose in different sunscreens, and really a lot of it is personal preference. So there are just daily moisturizers with sunscreen in it. I recommend at least a SPF 15 for a daily moisturizer. And those are very thin on the skin, so they're not too thick all of the time. Whereas if you go to this one here with zinc oxide, they're a little bit thicker. Zinc oxide does provide better coverage against the sun. A lighter lotion might be better for the face, so we can use something in a bottle like this. But nowadays, especially with kids and convenience, an aerosol can might be something good too, or just a roll-on product where it's similar to deodorant, where you can put it directly on the skin. I hear a lot of people liking this for kids because they can really apply it on the skin, on the face. One thing that is difficult with this is you can't see exactly where you put it on, so you might need to reapply.
How about for waterproof? How long should you reapply after being in the water?
So there are different standards now that there's labeling on sunscreens. There should be standards now with water resistance for 40 minutes or 80 minutes. So that should be on the containers. So ideally, after being in the water, the thing is, though, when people towel off, though, they need to reapply at that point because you're physically removing the sunscreen that you put on. So there are different ways. There are certain aerosols that can go onto the body to reapply it, or you can just rub things in. But after you towel off, you must reapply after that point.
All right, some good tips there, Dr. Santoro. We appreciate you coming on the show here today. And the good news is that MidState Medical Center is going to be having a free screening for skin cancer. All you have to do is head on over to midstatemedicalcenter.org or call 1-800-DOCTORS. Let's check in with Teresa.